Good afternoon, brilliant Boomi community, and welcome back to Dallas, Texas. We are here coming to the conclusion of day one of our 2 days of coverage of Boomi World 2025. My name is Savannah Peterson. Delighted to be here with a new co-mod for the first time from Boomi. Barry, thank you so much for coming to hang out.
Oh, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
I just get to put my feet up and take a load off for this segment. This is going to be super fun.
We'll put you a little bit to work.
Yeah. I can't wait to co-host this with you. Talk to me a little bit about your brilliant friends and what brought this conversation to our stage today.
Yeah, so TCS is a valued Boomi partner and has been for, I think, the better part of the last 10 years. Yes. So we're really lucky to have them here today. As a matter of fact, let's introduce them.
Pallavi, you want to go? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Pallavi Chaudhary. I'm the technology head with enterprise integration practice for TCS.
Great.
Hi, my name is Prafulla, and I am the global head for enterprise integration.
Wonderful.
You guys are busy folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can imagine right now in particular with this technological moment that you're probably busier than ever before with the rate at which people are accelerating and the velocity. What's the role of API in this transformation right now?
Sure. Thanks for this question. I get this question very often. So I firmly believe that API plays a pivotal role in any enterprise transformation. And according to Gartner, 90% of modern applications use APIs for data and services connectivity. Further to add on that, API enables or API acts as a backbone for any enterprise transformation because it shields the complexity of the underlying business or applications by exposing the easy way to communicate and reliable and secured way to communicate. What API extends is that API ensures the organizations are able to capitalize on their legacy knowledge and expose that functionality seamlessly, not only to their applications, not only within their enterprise, but to their partners, but to their to open to the developer community and build an entire ecosystem around that. So that is the strength of API.
Gotcha.
See, API enables the architecture pattern which is flexible, reliable, secure, and it enables customer to achieve a faster time to market, enhance their customers' experience, and make sure that they are enabling the innovative products very easily and rapidly. Of course, that reduces time to market, cost of operations, and all that. So all this beauty, what we are experiencing in last 10 years with the API. At TCS, we have done a lot of large API implementations for various customers across the globe. Be it enabling a healthcare customer who is delivering your medicines faster, whenever you are taking your flights, we ensures by API giving an up-to-date information, not only about the flight, but making sure that all your crew members and all that are on time and giving you a great customer experience. So that is the strength, that is the beauty API brings on the table. And last but very important, what I want to add is that with this Gen AI, what we have seen, Lucas and all that talking, we have an important role to play going forward. The API economy, the API adoption within the organizations are going to increase day by day. That 15 trillion, what number Lucas was talking, we all have a role to play. And I firmly believe at TCS, we are going to achieve that journey along with the partners like Boomi.
I've heard it said that the number of APIs is going to increase 5-fold in the coming years due to generative API.
Exactly,
That's a fun data point. I believe that.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that is what we want to ride.
Yeah. Now, as a question for you, Pallavi, in today's rapidly evolving IT landscape, why are AI-infused adaptive integration platforms becoming increasingly critical for organizations? And I'm going to ask you a follow-up too. How is TCS positioned to address these transformations?
Yeah, great question. So let's start with looking at the IT landscape as of today, right? So in current scenario, you'll see that integration use cases have broadened, right? They encompasses various different patterns, right? Like Prafulla mentioned, API being one of them. Boomi offering started with the iPaaS, right? And then going on with B2B, events, data integration with the recent acquisition, right? And now talking about the AI, right?
Yeah.
So if we look at the IT landscape, it has become really very complex, and that actually necessitates the needs of having one unified platform, right? So if you look at the organizations, you cannot have multiple different solutions for these integration different patterns, right? Because it is going to add a lot of complexity, and it is going to give a lot of overhead maintenance for the enterprises, right? So at this time, the need of the hour is a single unified platform which can basically help to address all this solution. And in such scenario, I feel the adaptive AI-infused integration platforms, right, they can play a very critical role because these platforms can evolve with the organization's need, right? And basically they can help offer scalability, flexibility, and reducing your cost of overhauling or replacement in future, right? So, and I think this is very well aligned with Boomi as well, as in the morning keynote session, Steve mentioned about one platform and automation with AI, that's it, right? So if we talk about Boomi's recent acquisition in terms of APIs, in terms of data, I think what it does is providing solutions across multiple integration platform. So I would say, yeah, need of the hour is, being an adaptive AI integration platform, and I think same sentiments are echoed by Forrester as well, where they mention that, adaptive AI integration platform are critical for organization to stay relevant and agile in the current scenario, right? So essence, yes, it is very much important as of today to have, adaptive integration platform with infused AI.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, data being the foundation of any sort of AI success or ROI or value add that we're going to achieve with companies. You're working with a lot of different types of people around the world. A very interesting lens you get to have across the spectrum. Talk to me about how this data integration really powers these AI solutions and even just the transformation across organizations as they're adopting this new technology. We'll stay with you.
Sure. So I'll be talking about how data integration plays a critical role, and maybe I'll address, Eric's previous question as well, that, how TCS plays a very critical role over here, right? So let's take a look at the data, right? So why data has become suddenly so important, right? So if you look at the organization, right, if they want to optimize their business, if they want to understand what their customer wants, if they want to reinvent their business model, how they are going to do it? Data. So data has become indispensable for this organization, right? But what makes it really difficult for this data to be available, because if you look at today's modern age data, this data is available in all sorts of varieties and volume. You have structured, unstructured, semi-structured data, and the volumes have been growing exponentially, right? So the biggest challenge as of...
going to continue to.
Exactly, and it's just going to increase. What we are seeing is just a tip of the iceberg, right? The data is distributed across your sources, your systems, your application. So it's very important that you get this data, ingest this data for the organization to have that, data-driven insights on this, which can help them to thrive and not to survive, right? Yes. As Steve mentioned. So I feel data integration is going to be a very foundational over here, right? And if you talk about from the Gen AI perspective, right? So if you're going to feed the AI models with the data, you need a very high quality, curated data, right? That's where the data integration will play a very pivotal role in providing this, consistent, curated, high quality data by implementing data quality, data governance, and all those things.
And being able to see it all in that single plane control tower style is so imperative.
Exactly. So in a nutshell, if you ask me, it's going to be very critical for organization transformation initiatives, right? And just to address to Eric's previous question, in TCS, we have actually developed a lot of tools, accelerators, and frameworks to cater to different patterns as well as the data integration requirements, right? Building those robust data pipelines as the solutions and frameworks, right? So we have our umbrella offering called BEIS, which is called as a Business Ecosystem Integration Services, which is on 3 pillars of business, technology, and operation. So business, we focuses on the different use cases for this integrations and the data, how it is going to help the business and map those patterns. In technology, we are going into the depth of the solution and the framework, and operation, we are going to scale it at the enterprise level by streamlining the processes. So if you look at the solution, it's a comprehensive solution covering the breadth of the integration patterns and the depth of the technology and operation capabilities.
Love it.
Very good.
It makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you. Given the critical role of data in transformations and AI initiatives, how does data integration enable that?
Okay. So I was anticipating, the question is that how the Gen AI and data integration is going hand in hand.
Oh, okay. So how does enterprise integration enable and accelerate the success of enterprise AI initiatives?
Exactly. So I was anticipating that, see what Pallavi's talked about, AI is infused, right? And when you look at the integration architecture or integration patterns, when we talk about these Gen AI use cases and all that, there are multiple layers which integration platform enables that.
Yeah.
One is that, okay, we talked about the agent management and all that. So that is important layer, which is answered by integration products like Boomi or many products like that.
Right.
But Boomi is again coming up with the leading solution for that.
Yep.
When it comes to giving an access of these agents or exposing an data in a secured manner, API gateways, API layer comes into picture. Right. And that is where the importance of API, which I talked about, the economy around the API comes into picture.
Right.
Now, all these agents or GenAI's agent will need a huge data to be, whether it's coming from LLM or coming from your real-time applications.
Right.
So you will have a need of real-time data or data which is sitting in the data lakes and all that. So all this data will be exposed, enabled to these agents and GenAI solutions using a data integration solutions, or they're building a data pipelines, or access to the data on real time using a data streaming solutions.
Right.
So the product like Boomi or the integration products like Boomi have a very important role to play in a building GenAI-based solution. Because ultimately, as Pallavi said, GenAI solutions are heavily dependent on the data, a data which is making sense, data which is making a real value to that, and that data can be exposed in a secured, faster manner by using a product or integration architecture. And that is where I think there is a great roadmap future for integration products for all these GenAI use cases.
Right.
Yeah, heavily impacted or heavily derived. I mean, that's almost an understatement at this point. Without good data, you don't have any.
Yeah,
you're just not. It's just not happening. The car's never going to start. It's not going to work out. Building on that enterprise integration comment there and the impact thereof. What are some of the customer trends that you're seeing? What are some of the benefits that you're seeing from that transformation and integration done right, so to speak? Pallavi, I'll give that to you.
Yeah, so a lot of benefits, right? Because when you talk about this data and AI, right? So let's take a look at the retail scenario, right? If you have customers and you want to understand, how do I improve the customers and, how do I reinvent my business model? So basically that is going to, come from the insights I get from the data, right? So I'll be collecting the data, I'll be getting the insights out of it. So I see a lot of value and benefits coming out of it, definitely a lot. But for that, the need of the hour today is building that foundation to reap those benefits, in the near future, I would say.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It's exciting. It's an exciting time.
It's very exciting, but it's at the same time very important that we align our enterprise integration strategy, right, to the business needs so that it helps you reap those benefits in the future.
So in fact, one of the study at Harvard was saying is that the customers who are adopting APIs, they build a product or solution 33% faster than their competitors.
Yeah.
But I think with the combination of APIs, integration, and GenAI solution, it is going to be 80% faster very soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Agreed. Agreed.
What, if you could wave a magic wand, this is kind of a question for both of you. If you could wave a magic wand right now and help folks who are a little nervous about this first step, because there is a little bit of unease as we're exposing our data to these new tools right now and actually looking at how messy that closet full of cables actually was at one point before we hired the right cleaners or the right platform to help us sort that. What do you wish you could tell everyone right now to make this easier? What are some of the key things that they should be thinking about versus what's maybe getting a little too much hype? Pallavi, I'll start with you.
Okay, maybe I'll say 3 critical things over here. As I mentioned in my previous thing, one is really having a very strong and robust your enterprise integration strategy, which has to be aligned with your business objective. That is very important. While you are deciding on the technology, you have to ensure that what you're looking for it, you're very clear on it, and you don't land up having multiple solutions and multiple tools for it, right? So there has to be a clarity on it. And the third point I would say is, in terms of operation, as it is very important to have a good strategy, to have a good solution, it is very important to govern it very properly, right? So that is going to be a very important thing. So if I am talk about it, it has to be, certain, like whether it's an API factory, like Prafulla was mentioning, API going to play a very critical role. So how do you do it? Maybe using an API factory model, right?
Yeah.
If you want to have a migration, let's say you are having a new platform, so how you expedite those migration using Gen AI. So you have to have these factors, but I'll let Prafulla add on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Pallavi has covered most of the point, but what I want to highlight is that governance So you can use your own technologies, own patterns and all that, but ultimately you have to ensure that, okay, you're following the ethical AI, you're having that guardrails, and that guardrails is provided a platform like, let's say, agent management, which is Boomi exposing.
Sure.
And that is very important in this journey.
Yeah.
Ensuring that, okay, right data is exposed to the right people, and even for APIs and agents. So that is the governance is going to be very, very crucial.
Yeah. I love how much that's actually been a conversation this week, and I'll let you go, Barry, don't worry. But every time I talk to someone in this room, in this community, governance comes out, and it's kind of nice because you can tell everyone's extremely mindful of this all being successful, and without governance, it fails.
I see Boomi very well aligned, as again I mentioned, Steve mentioned about the control tower, right? Yeah. So the agent sprawl, right? You have API sprawl, you have agent sprawl, and how do you control it, right? So I think that's the key thing.
Yeah, and the nice thing about the control tower is it allows you to be able to keep that and be able to have a single pane of glass to be able to see all of the AI agents that exist in your ecosystem, and to be able to establish guardrails, to be able to have a kill switch on agents that might go rogue, or if there's some kind of breach, or there's some kind of anomaly in terms of access or invocations that happen. So having that ability to be able to govern the agents within the ecosystem is just as important as developing the agents itself.
Yeah, it absolutely is. All right, closing question for the three of you, and Barry, you're getting asked this one too, so buckle up. I'm very curious, when we are having this conversation this time next year at Boomi World 2026, what do you hope to be able to say then that you can't yet say today? Barry, I'll start with you since you're sitting next to me.
So for me, I come from the channels and alliances side, so I'm going to give you a more channels and alliances answer. I would like to be able to say that we are able to offer people the ability for partners to create their own AI agents and to be able to offer those to one-to-many of their customers, and to be able to have a way to be able to govern all of that within a single pane of glass, which we can already do, but to be able to white label that as well so that the partners could take advantage of that capability. That would be my goal.
Oh, I love that. Can't wait to talk about that. Pallavi, what about you?
Yeah, I would say, as I talked about the adaptive integration with infused AI, so I would say maybe, intelligent integration platform, I would just, equate it with that, where you are able to do everything along with the power of AI, that's what I would be looking for. And
oh yeah, I can tell how excited you are too, just sitting on the desk. Your enthusiasm is contagious. All right, bring us home.
Okay, so what I wish to do in 2026 Boomi World, probably I'm talking along with my customer and talking about the real value I have bring to the society, or solving the real problems using the platforms like Boomi and the whole era of Gen AI. So creating a value for society and solving the real problems. So that is what we want to present in Boomi World 2026.
Let's do it. I can't wait to talk about it together. That sounds awesome, and it matters. Let's go solve those healthcare challenges that you were talking about. Let's go do all these great things. Thank the three of you for coming to hang out. This has been absolutely fantastic. Barry, thank you for doing my job.
Thank you so much.
That was really lovely of you.
Can't replace you. You did a wonderful job. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your excellent answers.
And thank all of you wherever you might be tuning in. We're here in Dallas, Texas at Boomi World 2025. My name is Savannah Peterson. You're watching theCUBE, the leading source for enterprise tech news.